It's one of those days. It's one of those days. It's one of those days. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Here I am, your Al Bob, your griot, your sensei, here to tell you a story, hopefully to enlighten, to entertain. So, the other, right? When we treat others like the other, like it's okay. Like I was talking to one of the usual suspects, that he goes on and on and on. It's interesting how people, whenever anyone, what your problem is, they're basically talking about themselves. And that's why I say, don't believe a word I say, these are my opinions, right? As Rudy Giuliani would say, there are no facts. It's all fake news. And that's one of the great things. Donald Trump was one of the great equalizers, levelers, because what's really interesting is Joe Biden is out Donald Trumping. He's like quadrupling. Donald Trump was never causing war with China or Russia, right? But he was, it's interesting how the Republicans in the United States start the ball rolling on, having a fascist dictatorship, but the Democrats double down on it, right? And most people don't realize that the Republicans, up until Ronald Reagan, were the liberals, right? And the Democrats were the conservatives, right? FDR was no, people said, boy, you saved democracy. He said, no, I saved capitalism, right? Hey there, Jeannie Pooh. Right. Well, here, I got here, it was 75 degrees, not here, but when I got back to the deep green on, I guess it was Wednesday, yep, or maybe Tuesday, all time rolls into it. John threw me out, whatever day that was, and a video with the garbage bags, right? And so, bottom line, I got back here, and it was, there was snow on the ground, but it was 70 degrees, right? So I made it home. I got the house in order, got everything turned back on, and raked things up. You wait for a month, and things get blown around, etc. So, it's interesting. So one of the usual suspects, he was going on and on about Hirsch saying that, the United States blew up North Star. I mean, it was not just, I keep saying it is the unipolar, transnational, fascist oligarchy, right? Mr. Global, right? It's been around since Babylon, right? And it's trying to put the world's population, we're all in a cell, right? So anyway, I was enlightening this guy. It was going on about how the young people today are terrible. No, they're one of the best generations around, especially the ones that, have been born in the last 10 years. They are totally different than any other human beings, And that's why Mr. Globaloney is double downing on everything chaos to manifest the prison planet oligarchy, right? And it doesn't mean any individual government is any worse than any other. It's just that there are characters. There's a deep state in every government, right? And they're unified. Stan Lee was right. Go watch Captain America. That is the best definition of Mr. Globaloney, Hail Hydra. And it started around that. I mean, that's when it became industrialized, World War II. World War I and World War II brought the industrialization of this. And it was, the United States Civil War was the test bed of that chaos, right? And then the industrialization of the taking the indigenous people's lands and then going after Mexico and then having the Spanish-American War, where we basically took all the Pacific. People don't realize that we took more land in the Spanish-American War than is in the United States proper, North America, right? Because we have stuff all over the Pacific that the Spanish had, and we almost made whatchamacallit, the Philippines a state. I mean, we got Hawaii in the Spanish-American War, made that a state, but we're going to turn the Philippines into a state. Subic Bay was, as big a naval installation as Hawaii. So, we have like, 900 plus or 600 plus, real serious military bases, and Afghanistan, when we left Afghanistan, we had 2,500 soldiers there, a bunch of Apaches and A-10s, but that kept the Taliban down. We could still be there, right? 2,500 guys kept us in control of Afghanistan. And we had a base right there in the capital, right outside the capital on the backside of a mountain. That was home. You couldn't get at it, right? So when we left, we just turned out the lights, kept the doors open, and walked away, right? But we still left about 75,000 people there. Now, if we really had any intentions to save those people, we would have kept that base, right? And had them all go there, because it's like, the size of Connecticut. And like I said, totally depends, the Taliban could not touch it. So did we do that? No. Oh, everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. The end. And it was good. And it was good. It was good. So all of this is very indicative of how you're being made the other. And a really good example. So I was talking to this, and all he wanted to talk about was, this article where it showed that the Americans blew up the gas pipeline. And I said, so is there any evidence? Oh, no. It's but there was a guy, he knew a guy who knew a guy who told him. I said, oh, did anyone get a affidavit? Oh, no. I said, oh. And that's what I'm talking about. Thinking that has anything to do with anything, you're nuts. More important, I said, well, what happened just last year under JoJo, the used car salesman, the FBI and the TSA and Homeland Security went and arrested everyone in the Black Socialist Party, right? And went and took all their computers and all of their, file cabinets of everything they had. And, the Black Socialist Party is a, authorized, legal political party. There are a lot of them. There's the Labor Party, there's the Green Party, there are a lot of different parties. The American Communist Party, there are a lot of parties in the United States. It's not just Democrats and Republicans. All those other parties were important between 1870 and 1970, and then basically they were, made non-essence. But the important thing about this is that they didn't go in there with a legal document. They went in using the Patriot Act, right? And they arrested everyone, and they put them in jail, and they didn't give them bail, and no one's heard from them because they used the Patriot Act. What does that mean? We have martial law. What does that mean? You are one of the others. They want you, they will come. So I was talking to this guy and telling him other things, and our phone call was interrupted, and a recorded voice said, things are being discussed that shouldn't be. And then went back to usual suspect. I said, what was that? I said, well, someone didn't like us having this conversation. Click. He couldn't take it. Right? So So anyway, that's you being the other, right? And the only way you can't fight it, you know, organizing in that manner. You have to organize with love, co-creation, right? When you do that. So Gandhi is a good example. Gandhi was a real mofo, right? He wanted to be an English white man. He was educated in that system. He was a lawyer, and then you know he was hired because of the CV, his curriculum vitae, as a lawyer, and he was sent to Africa to represent his company. They didn't really realize he was Indian. Right? You know, they just looked at his CV and all the things he did. And he was a bad mofo, so they sent him. So he was on a train going to Johannesburg. In first class, he had his own little, you know, apartment on the train, and the guy came around looking for his ticket and said, "What are you doing here? You're not, you know, get out. You're black." And they took his clothes off and threw him off the train out there in the middle, not at a train station. Right, he had to walk like barefoot in his underwear to some place, and that's when he was. You know, so he went back to join, and like you know, 3 or 4 years went after those guys legally, and he won in court, but they beat the crap out of him every time. And then he was you know, he wanted to beat them up, and he read this journal of the minutes of the women's movement um, in one of the Finger Lakes, and what's it called? Starts with an S. But anyway, that's where the women's movement started. Like before, like in the 1790s, it started, and they said, you know, they said this is going to take at least 100 years. You know, we can't fight men, right? Because women, even if they were white, well-educated women, were still treated like property, right? And really, they were treated like property until, you know, 1920 something, right? And that's why men are so screwed up, because the women had to do all of this mind games to men to just get something from it, right? So that's why we have to change the agenda. And I was trying to explain to this usual suspect that you know it's not like you know the fourth estate. You're never going to get the media to tell the truth. They're owned. You're never going to get politicians to represent you because they're owned. You're never going to get businesses like you know things that are supposed to be public utilities to represent because they're owned. You know, healthcare is never going to take care of you because you're owned, right? Because you're the other. It doesn't matter what color your skin is, you are the other. Unless you're that 1/10 to 1%, you're the other. And that 1/10 to 1% is just the poster children of the hidden hand, you know? And the usual suspects, well, you know what you're talking about. You know, you think you're looking at a crystal ball. I can't tell you the future. You know, I'm just a shamanic, psychosocial, cultural, forensic, anthropologic alchemist, you know. I can't tell you the future, but I can look at trends, right? I can see threads. I can weave you a tapestry of what's going on, but don't believe a word I say, you know. And no one's listening. There were 2 likes, right? So it's been going for 13 minutes and 52 seconds. And it's good to see you. Welcome aboard to Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Bob. I hope you're enjoying these, and I would suggest you put these things down on your hard drive, your thumb drives, whatever, you know, CD-ROMs, whatever. Because one, the internet is not long for. I mean, the sun is going nuts up there. They're not talking about that. We've had a number. I mean, we have chunks of the sun exploding out into space. You know, there's little. You know, there's called coronal ejection. They happen all the time. But you know, there was a chunk that was exploded off the sun, basically the size of Western Europe. You know, and luckily it wasn't pointed at our direction at the time. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking to you. You know, virtually we'd be in the dark right now. And so that is the story, and you can Go investigate anything I say, and you will find that boy, Sensei, I was right. And my interpretation may be wrong, but it's just my opinion. I don't believe a word I say. This show is just for your entertainment's sake. Right? But if you want to throw something in my PayPal, I duly appreciate it. And I want to thank those 4 people who have put something into my PayPal since Thanksgiving. November, December, January, February. Last 4 months, 4 people have thrown something in my PayPal. Anyway, so what else is going on? Any questions? Any insights? Oh, let's give somebody. Ooh, it's 12:21. Oh. See if Dr. Colorado's around. Whoa! Hey, honey, you're live on the show.
Well, I apologize. I'm in the rough part of the journey. Maybe I should call you back in about a half hour or something.
What was that?
You called me right during the rough part of my journey. What if I call you back in about 20 minutes?
Oh, you can do that. Yep. No problem.
You've got me so bumpy, you probably can't even hear me.
Right. You're all over the place. Yep. Okay. I'll talk to you a little bit.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
That's Dr. Colorado. Who else? Oh, how about the tag? See what she's up to. Whoa. Well, let's see. What's the weather? Oh, let's hit the weather, guys. Yes. Load up my weather. Supposed to start snowing at 4. Woo. Yeah, it's supposed to go down to 18 degrees. Woo, cold. Well, I'm gonna listen to John Boy yell. What's shaking, bacon? What's shaking, bacon? Aye. So did you sell your house yet?
No.
Well, I got back and it was snowing, and it's about 18 degrees right now.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
I thought it was in the. It says Johnson City's in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, I'm a little higher and north of that. It's nippy.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, well, okay. Then you
All
don't.
right.
I didn't know what to say. Anyway, Johnny Cabbage.
Owl Bob.
Do 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 do. Do, do, do. Why don't you reset it? Do, 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 do. Oh, so I had a friend, and she was really beautiful, right? And I did a video on John's YouTube. It's called Scar, right? And I met her in a place called Tortola, a really beautiful little island country unto itself. It's just across from the U.S. Virgin Islands and St. Thomas, and It's a volcanic kind of island. It's all mountainous. There's like maybe 800 beautiful, unbelievable, untouched beaches that you can't get there by a road, right? You can only get there by a boat. So the rich people go there in their big yachts, and they anchor just off, and they take a boat, and they put up a camp there and have a really nice time, right? And a number of the island folk basically own the properties around some of these beaches and own some of these beaches. And they have a boat that goes there, and they've taken materials and made a nice little Rio Rancho there. So, the boat people can come and not just have an island, but have a place that actually has places that have tents that are really big tents and are nice tents and have brand new great beds and carpets and bathrooms and showers, and they have a little restaurant, so they cook for them and stuff like that. So one of those places, I got to know the guy, and I helped him, put up windmills and this is in the 70s, windmills and solar cells and batteries, and have 24 volts. And 24 volts, there's a lot of marine things like ice makers and all kinds of appliances that run 24 volts that are for yachts. And we got a bunch of that. We went over to St. Thomas and got that stuff and brought it there. So we had an ice maker and a big blender to make smoothies, and you can't have, drinks with little umbrellas unless you got them smooth. So I set them all up with nice little Christmas lights and all kinds of stuff, right? So that was that, and we basically let's see if it comes up.
Shrimp sauce, cut chicken, sweet cabbage.
Doesn't do it. I don't understand. Still picking up from the days. So there were two ports. The main port, that was like the capital, it was like a city of about, 12, 15, 20,000 people. And that's where all the municipal stuff was. And it was a nice little city and town. And it kind of went up this mountain. And there were lots of nice little houses on that side, facing southwest. And so there was a big dock that all these boats, big, boats that would bring in, stuff, not just yachts, but, boats that could, take things off, big pallets and stuff and put it there. And there was another harbor over there for the fishing guys, right? And there was a fishing company there that froze fish, and so there was big docks for big boats. Anyway, so that was their main thing. And then there was tourism, and so tourism was like, it was almost fish and tourism were equal, even Steve. And up in the mountains, they had loads of farms that grew things, that only grew fruits and nuts and all kinds of things that only kind of grew there, right? So that was another thing that they exported, right? So, and they also took those fruits and nuts and turned them into things like jams and seasonings. And so they got, it wasn't just export of the stuff taken out of the ground, it was the higher end of product, being sold. So it was mostly, and kind of how Tortola went, was they had a whole bunch of fruits and vegetables and these products that they made, that they would trade with the other islands that had, the mangoes and the bananas and the this and the that. And it was like, bartering. There was no real money going in, but I mean, they made money too. So it was a very nice place. So I spent a winter there. I helped this guy, Mac out his thing. So he's my bud. So I would go down and stay with him every now and then, right? And his mother had, and she was Thai, just like I'm in Little Thailand right now. So I have a real affection for South Asian folk. So anyway, um, so I was hanging out in this bar, and so she had like a tiki bar, and then it went into the restaurant, and it was right on the dock. It was the only place on the dock, and her father built that dock. He was one of the major, and he was Dutch, right? Um, Dutch that came from Thailand, and so um, the Dutch got around. So I mean, Grandma was Dutch too, but she was, Mom was Thai princess. So you know, um, the oh, there he is. There you are, Dr. California. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm calling from New Caledonia so we can taste emus and squeeze them and get some emu oil.
Oh,
Hey, man,
that sounds good.
I didn't know if it was, kosher or not, but I thought I'd give you a call in a heroic attempt to derail your train of thought.
Nah, you can't do that. I'm already derailed.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's why this show is called A Stream of Consciousness.
The stream of consciousness. Well, then, we got multiple streams of income, man, don't we?
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, the kind of personality, just naturally falls into that category nice and easily for 501c3 status. Anyway, I thought I'd call you because I've been wanting to ask you a question.
Shoot, buddy. This is a call-in show. Yep.
Where do you want to be when the big splat happens?
Wherever I can be the most good.
Well, I'm just wondering because, there's all that prophecy about the four corners, and if you're near the four corners, you're going to be okay. I'm sort of on the outskirts of the four corners, and, just saying, man.
Well, I'd love to come in and hang with you, this summer or spring or fall. Have you ever been to a rainbow gathering?
I've been to a miniature Colorado rainbow gathering, not the big time, Federal Express.
Right.
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
This was about 30 years ago, maybe even closer to 40 years ago. Anyway, I was kind of bored because I was kind of bored. It wasn't really good. It was kind of lame. It was only about 20 people.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah, right. Okay, gotcha.
So it wasn't the full impact of whatever the impact is.
It wasn't 20,000 of your best naked friends out in the woods.
Yeah, I didn't get to see any naked hippie deadhead girls, jumping around, and so I was kind of bummed.
Right. I got you. Anyway, they're gonna have one in my neighborhood, and I'm gonna be with a bunch. I mean, this is what people are saying. They're just gonna come and get me, and we're going to go on the road like the Dharma Bums. And so, if that actually did happen, we might be able to roll your way, and then they could place me with you.
Well, now where is it this year?
I'm not quite sure, but the rumor is somewhere nearby me. So, like, on the southeast.
Wait. In Colorado?
No, the southeast of the United States. North Carolina, South Carolina, West Virginia, Tennessee, Kentucky, somewhere like that.
Well, just wait 5 years.
Yep. So I might, and I just took a little road trip to get out of here. It was 60 degrees below zero on Christmas Eve here. You still there, buddy? He disappeared. Anyway, so I'm sitting on that dock, sitting on the dock of the bay. Oh, there he is again. You disappeared on me.
You still there?
Yeah, here I am.
Okay. One of the characters in Drug and Houston is called Hallucinogenic.
Hallucinogenic. I like that. That's good.
Yeah. I thought you would. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what's going to happen, but things are getting a little more intense, wouldn't you say?
Well, same as it ever was,
Yeah.
I mean, as I keep telling people, the next thing is alien invasion.
Real or fake?
Well, everything's fake. I mean, that's what Donald Trump taught us. There is, there is no truth. It's all fake news. Did you ever see the TV show in the 90s called V?
I don't think so.
The aliens come down. The V stands for visitors, and they're all hot. They're all really looking good. But underneath that, really looking hot good is a scaly reptile skin.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that. What was that one with Jack Nicholson, Mars Attacks?
Yeah, Mars Attacks, yeah. I loved how they had the capability to take the movie star girl's head off and put it on a chihuahua.
Yeah. Oh, that was the movie with Slim Whitman music, right?
No, that was Mars Attacks with Jack Nicholson. Yep.
Yeah. Where the way they discovered a way to kill them by playing Slim Whitman.
It was right. I mean, but it's always a retread of an old story. And the 1950s were the best gory monster movies. There was one where they landed in this bog somewhere in the West, and this kid is looking at the stars, and he sees this gigantic flying saucer fly over, and he runs over, and he sees it smash into a mountain, and it digs itself into the mountain, and then no one knows it's there, and then they come out and basically what is it when aliens take you away? They abduct you, and they
abduct you.
Right, and they stick a little implant in the back of your head and then control you. Right, you're their little robot, and so that was the movie. And the kid was the only one who knew what was going on, and no one, because he was a kid, no one listened to him.
Yeah.
And the thing that killed them was his farts. He went and sat on the face of the queen and farted on her, and she died, and then they all died.
It came from outer space.
It came from outer space, yes. So
yeah.
It's just another retread. So what
you
temperature?
can use a garage door opener, and then Grandpa doesn't need Viagra anymore. Grandma just presses the button.
Right. Exactly. And that's will be one of the reasons why people go along with it. Because it'll be convenient. Yes, it'll wipe out 3/4 of the human race, but we're doing a good job at that. That this year, I would say two things are going to happen. The way the Ukrainians will really put a crimp on Russia, they they're in the that little neck of the woods that the Russians annexed, where they're on the Black Sea, Crimea. That has a lot of good farmland on it, and it feeds about 2 million people, and all the water that goes to that farming comes from the Ukraine, and the Ukrainians have control of the valve, so they've turned it off. So this spring, those farms won't be able to produce anything. So 2 million people will starve to death in Russia, and that'll be interesting. And China imports all its food and all its oil. And if we put the same kind of controls on China that went on to Russia, that would be the end of China. And they have all their money in American Treasury notes.
Hey, if you could go to any other country, where would you go?
I did that, done that. No, I'm here. I'm here to serve.
I'm just wondering, if we could, if pulling the ripcord was an option, what would it be?
Well, there is no ripcord, because we're all on this one little marble called Earth. There is no running away.
Yeah. No, I've done the best I can with where I'm at,
Right.
with what I have.
Right.
With what I have, my limited resources.
Right.
But I got different priorities than your average Joe six-pack, so.
Right. That's true. But you're doing pretty good where you are. You got your little recording studio and your family, and your little neck of the woods isn't that bad.
It's not that. Yeah. Well.
And I'm really going to try and come visit you this before it gets winter again. How bad was the winter this year?
Yesterday morning it was 4 degrees.
4 degrees? Yeah, that's a little nippy.
It is.
Yeah.
But I got plenty of firewood.
That's good. And if the poles ever shifted, you would be in Bermuda.
Right. So there's that to look forward to.
Right. I mean, we don't have to go to another country. The planet will just zip around like a roulette wheel, and it depends on where the ball lands.
And maybe Bermuda would be 4 degrees.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Well, handsome. I'm going to let you go because I have to go visit the little boy's room. So, nature calls.
You take care.
I love you, buddy. I'll try and call you this weekend, right? What's a good time?
We have a parade to go to tomorrow.
Okay, so maybe Sunday.
Yeah, let's try that.
Okay. And I would say about 1 o'clock. How's that sound? Like somewhere between 10 and 1, your time. Okay. Later. Well, as I said, nature calls, so maybe I'll drop another one later this afternoon. Seeing that is how much. Well, we got half a battery. Not even 1 o'clock yet. Okay, so maybe in half an hour, 40 minutes, I'll see you. So, thanks for showing up. Thanks for those 3 thumbs up. How about some more? Go get some of your friends to subscribe and watch the show. Let's build the cadre. Morgan, very weird. Yep, that's us, right? Mars Attacks. So cynical, like watching the church. Get Jack watching it. Hey. Well, no, I'm gonna say goodbye but I gotta go.